Hello guys, welcome back to Coding Cafe. My name is Mohammed Ali, and finally in this video we will complete this chat application. So this is the last video tutorial for this Kotlin chat app series, and in this video the final features that we will implement is, first of all, we will start from the online and offline feature, okay, for the user, and then we will finally add an activity which will be our visit profile activity in order when a user want to search for a specific user, and if a user want to visit user profile. So let's just start from the online and offline feature implementation. So for that, what we need to do is, let's just close this quickly and come here to the activity which is our main activity. So here on our main activity, let's just come here to the bottom and let's just create or implement the function quickly, which is private fun, and let's give it name as update status. And this function will receive basically one parameter. One parameter we will pass to this function, which will be of string data type, and that will be basically online and offline status. So we can create reference to the Firebase database dot get instance dot reference dot child, and it will be of course our users node dot child Firebase user dot uid, and make sure to add here create hash map equals to hash map, which will be string any type. And now what we want is basically to update the value of our status child in the user's node for that specific user. So inside the database, it is by the same name status. If I show you, then you will understand it. From the model class, it is by the name status. Okay, make sure to use the same spellings because it is exist in the database. So anyways, we can just pass this status variable to it. We can save this child to, you can say, update our this status child with the status value which has been stored inside the string type variable status. So anyways, reference dot update children, and pass the hash map to it. And now on resume, we are going to pass the value to it, which is to call our function, which is update status, and value on resume we will pass it online status value, while on the on pass we are going to pass it the value which will be offline. So once it is updated in the database, the next thing is to retrieve, and on the basis of this online offline status, we have to display our green icon and the gray icon, basically the gray and green dot. So for that we need to go back to our user adapter class, and here on our user adapter, inside the onBind view holder, let's add a condition which will check if is chat check. If this is true, then we are going to call the function which we will implement now, which will be last message. Let's give it name as retrieve last message, and we will pass parameters to it, which will be the user id user.getUID. The second parameter will be the holder dot last message text, which is our text queue basically. And else, if the is chat check, if this is false, then we can just make the visible is holder last message text dot set visibility to gone, sorry, view dot gone. So this is all about, for retrieving the last message, which we will do now. We will now implement this last retrieve last message feature, retrieving and displaying it. And the next thing is basically to display the green and gray icon. So for that we can use the same is chat check. If this is true, and we can say that if user dot get status, if user dot get status become equal online, if this is online, then we can say holder dot online image view dot visibility, and the visibility for this will be view dot visible. Otherwise, for the other one, which is our offline image view, we will make it gone for the offline image view. So if the status is online, we will display the online image view, which is basically a green dot. And in case if this is offline, so in the else statement, we can display our gray, or you can say offline image view, which is the gray icon. So it will be, sorry, not here, inside the else statement, it will be gone, while offline will be visible. And yeah, that's it. And if is chat check, you have to make sure if the is chat check is false, then make sure to make the view for both of these to gone. So this is about our online and offline feature, which we have implemented successfully. Now the next thing is to retrieve and display the last message on the chat list, okay, which is this function which you will create now. So let's just create this. Just click on it and you will see this red bull create function, retrieve last message. Here it is. Let's just move it to the bottom and let's just implement it here quickly. Let's change the name of it to user ID. Online user ID. And let's give it proper name as chat user ID, because it is for, we will be retrieving the last messages for the users which are, displaying on our chat list. These are just the variable names, so I just want to give it proper name. And last text message, last message text. We need to create a string type variable here at the top. The name last msg, which will be of type string. At some time I forgot and I start initializing variable using Java format, so sorry for that. So last message, which will be of string data type, and let's just initialize this with a null, and then come down here, and here we can say last message equals to default msg. Because we will use this string type last message variable, if the status of this is still default message, we will add a condition using using this variable. So if this is default message, it means that we have no message yet. Otherwise there will be a messages type, like let's say how are you, sent you an image, or you find whatever the message user sends. Okay, so Firebase user, Firebase auth dot get instance dot current user, Firebase database get instance dot reference dot child chats reference value event listener object value event listener on data change, and then on cancelled. In here you can say that for data snapshot POP, which is basically data snapshot object. So pure.children chat model class data snapshot dot get value, and we have chat model class. So class start Java. We can say that if Firebase, okay, we have to check the Firebase user, not their ID. So we can say if Firebase user not equals to null, which means if the user is online, and if the chat is not null. If chat dot get receiver and if chat dot get receiver become equals to Firebase user dot UID and chat dot get sender, if this become equals the user chat, what is the name of it, it is chat user ID, it is equals to the chat user ID, or let's just break the statement so that we can see it easily, or chat dot get receiver, this become equals to chat user ID and chat dot get sender become equals Firebase user dot UID. We can update the last message variable with the chat dot get message, and then on the basis of this last message, after the for loop we can use when statement, which works, by the way, when statement works like just like the if else statement, if else if else if. Okay, so we can say when last message. So if the last message is equals to the default one, which is default MSG, if the last message is equals to this, what we want to do in that case, we can say last message text dot text equals to no message, no message received yet, or any text specifically you want to add here, no message. While in case of image file, and for images, if I show you from the database, then we are using specific statement which is send you an image. So make sure that you have the same text in the condition, which means that if the last message is equals to this, then in that case, sorry, what we are going to do is we can just update this last message text dot text equals to, and we can just say that image sent. While in case of the text messages, we can say else, the else will be we just want to display that specific message which is stored inside the last message variable which we are assigning it here. So yeah, I mean that's it, and make sure to update the value of our last message variable here with the default MSG. So yeah, that's it. So now let's just test the application to see if this is working or not. So the app is running now successfully. Here you can see the last message in the chat list for Muhammad Ali, LIZDB438, okay? And the status currently now is offline, since you can see this gray dot. Now on the other device, which is my phone, okay, I'm going to install the application on it, and I'm going to log in here as Muhammad Ali, so that you will see here that is I mean this will turns to green. Let me just log in here quickly. Let's just log in. So here now I am logged in by Alizef438, and here we go. You can see the icon. It turns now to this green one, and to me, I mean on my phone, it is showing that Peter is now online. Now I'm going to minimize the app from here. Here you can see it turns to gray, which means that Peter is offline now. And now if I open the app again, then here you can see it. So this is working really nice. This is incredible. Here you can see it. So yeah, that's it. I mean, now the next thing is we have to implement the last feature, which is the visit user profile. So for that, what we need to do is, let's just close this. Let's come back to the Android Studio, and let's just quickly implement that feature also. So we are going to create an activity, new empty activity. The name of this activity will be visit user profile. Visit user profile activity. And for the design, what we are going to do is we have an activity fragment basically, which is our settings fragment. What we need is basically to copy this whole code from here, and we will change it according to our visit user profile. So first of all, make sure to change the constant layout to the relative layout and give some paddings from all the sides. It will be 20 dp, and then the next thing is to paste that code inside it, which you can see here. Okay, so now we need to quickly change the IDs for all of these things. And now first of all, we have cover. Let's give it, change the ID for it to cover display. And then we have profile image, so we can say profile image. Let's give it name as profile display only, profile display. And then the next one is the username, so we can say username display, just to make the ID unique. And it will be, make sure to change the ID here to profile display. Here we go. And then the next thing is Facebook, so we can say Facebook display. And then we have Instagram display, and then the last one is website display. And let's add also a button quickly, send message button. Button actually match parent web content. The ID for this will send msg button, margin top will be 20 dp, and it will be below our linear layout. So let's give id to our this linear layout as linear layout 1, ll1. Sorry, copy this and just paste it here. Background for this will be color profile, and text color will be white, and the next thing is text all caps to false, and let's add text to this button, which is send message. That's it. So now let's just come back to the wizard profile activity dot cat file, and on our user adapter, when we say we have a dialog box which we are adding here, which is wizard profile. When a user click on it, if I show you, then basically if a user click on any user profile, here you can see the second option, which is use a wizard profile. We have to send the user to that activity, and we have to pass the id alongside with it, and we will give it the same key name, which is wizard underscore id. And yeah, that's it. Now let's just remove let's just receive this here. For that we need to create a string type variable, and we can say private variable, and let's give it name as user visit id. This is obviously string type, so we can say that user visit id equals to intent dot get string extra. We are sending it by the name visit id, so pass that visit id here. And now let's just receive the information for the profile, so we can create reference to the user's node Firebase database dot reference dot child is our user's node dot child, pass the visit user id, user visit id, and we can say reference dot add value event listener object colon value event listener on data change and on cancelled. If the PO dot exist, user equals to dot get value the users model class dot java. And now let's just display the username first. So the id for this is username display, so just copy it, come back here and paste that here. Make sure to import it, and then we can say dot text equals to user dot get user name. Then for displaying the picture, we can say Picasso dot get dot load user dot get profile dot into, and the for the profile we have id profile display, so copy it from here and just paste that here. And then the next thing is basic the cover image. So for the cover image we will do the same, just copy this, paste it here, and we can say get cover into cover display. So the next thing is when a user click on these button, which is Facebook and all these things, then we will redirect the user to the links that a user set from the profile page. I mean from the settings from here. Okay, here you can see whenever the user set here. So just like if Peter set like their Instagram name here and Facebook name and the URL here, then it will be redirected to that specific URL page, I mean to that web page. So let's just implement that. Also, if a user click on Facebook display, which we can do inside our own create, below this add value event, you can paste this and set on click listener on it. URI dot parse UR, I mean we have to pass the Facebook link here if user click on it, so which we can get by user. Okay, let's just initialize there at the top globally. Okay, so we can say private well user, and let's initialize this with a, which will be of type users, and let's initialize this with a null. So now we can say user dot get Facebook, and also make sure here you can see it is displaying this error. So remove the private from here, and instead of value we can give it, we can say variable. Okay, this is variable, and then here make sure to add the non-asserted call here now. So you can now key that intent val intent equals to intent dot action view, and we have to pass the URI. Then we will start the activity for the intent. Now the same we will do for the other two. Let's just copy paste this quickly, which is for the Instagram display, and the last one is the website display. So do these changes, and for the Instagram, in case of Instagram, we can get Instagram, get website, and the last button, which is the send message button, for user click on it, we are going to send the user to the message chat activity. So copy this intent from here and you can just paste it here, and the context for this is visit user profile activity. This at the rat, and make sure to add the non-asserted call here, start activity for the intent. So before testing the application, one thing is here on the user adapter, if a user click on visit profile, make sure to change the message chat activity, because we are going to send the user to the visit user profile activity. And now let's just run the application. So the app is running now successfully. Here you can see it. Now let's just come here and search for this user from Peter phone. Let's click on visit profile, and here we go. Here you can see it. Now if a user click on Facebook button, then it will ask for the, that is what action you want to perform. So you want to visit it using the Google Chrome, and it will basically ask for the first time whenever you run the application. Okay, here you can see it redirect to my Facebook page. And now let's just click on Instagram. Here you can see it. Now do not ask that is, I mean, with what action you want to perform. Okay, so it automatically send us to the google.com. Since for the Instagram we have set the URL, I think, to the Google. Now let me change it. As you know, I'm logged in as Alize438 on this device. Let me just change it quickly to my username, my Instagram username, which is ALIZEB438. Now let me just click create. It has been updated successfully. Now if I just let me just search it. Now let's go back to visit profile. Now if I click on Instagram, and it sent me to the Facebook. Let's just check this from the settings. I guess we have done something wrong on our fragment, which is settings fragment, which is, if it is website, then right URL, username. So in case of, here it is. I mean, with the, when we were saving on the settings fragment inside the social save social link, we forgot to change this with Instagram. Okay, make sure to do these changes and then you can run the application. So now whenever you save the URL from the settings fragment, it will do exactly like this. So this is just a small mistake which we commit. So the app is running now again on both the devices. Now first of all, I'm going to change it from the settings, which is to change the Instagram link only. So I give it my Instagram username, and now let's just go to profile, and if we click now on Instagram, then you will see it. It is working really nice. Here you can see it. And now whatever the URL user set for the website, it will just redirect it to that website. So I set it as just for the testing to the google.com. Also, when we set on the message chat activity, we have the toolbar here. And one more thing, if you notice here, if you visit someone's profile, sorry, when you go to the send message, basically from here, from this dialog box, and if you click here on this icon, and if your app crash after clicking this back button, if your app crash, same is from here. I mean, if you come from here, if your app crash by clicking this back button, then all you need is just to come here to the message chat activity, and here in the message chat activity, when we set our toolbar, remove this sending the user from message chat activity to welcome activity, just leave the finish here. Okay, and just leave the finish, and when you run the application again and test the application, then your app will not crash. Okay, it will just close this just like this, like in my case you can see it. Now this was the thing which I want to mention here, which is important, because some of you guys will get error if you just go to the message chat activity and click on this back button. Because of that intent, there is no need to add an intent, just add this finish and it will finish the current activity after pressing the back button. So if you get that error, only then you can change your code to only finish, otherwise it is okay, no problem. So yeah, that's it for this video and for this course. This course has been finished. And by the way, you can also join our course, which is Kotlin Instagram app, which we develop using Android Studio with Firebase. So if you want to create an Instagram clone app using Kotlin with Firebase, then you can join our Kotlin Instagram course also. Take care of yourself and bye for this course.